Drop a like and subscribe in the next 5 seconds if you want Klombos to return, otherwise they may stay vaulted forever. Fortnite Season 3 is here and still the question everybody is asking is where are Klombos, or are they going to be returning to Fortnite? Believe it or not, it was teased in Season 2 that this would be the fate of Klombos, this skeleton right here, also alongside teasing the return of Ballers. And despite their source of food, Klombo is still being on the island right now, this is not the only update we have to discuss that Fortnite have been teasing or announcing. Today, for that reason, we're going to be covering a ton of changes, updates and content that are upcoming throughout the 5 updates of this season, which your mind are going to be blown about, so make sure you're sticking around and watching the full video so you don't miss any. And before we dive into it all, the only thing I ask of you guys the next time you log into Fortnite is to enter code FM1 inside your Fortnite item shop. You guys already know this not only puts a giant smile on my face, but cheers up my pug Gus too, who's been kinda sad about the fact he knows that 70% of all eyes watching right now are not subscribed. With that said, hit the big red button right now as we're on our final push to 2.5 million or 2.5 million subscribers, and after all it only benefits you as I do give different subscribers every single day. So if you ever want to receive something, simply make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on, and then comment your Epic Games ID down below and let me know what you'd like to receive, so perhaps you could be gifted like this on screen in front of hundreds of thousands of eyes to see in the next video. But with that said, now enough messing around, there's so many updates to cover, including the return of Klombos, so make sure of course you don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm not, I'm sitting on my
Don't
back.
go anywhere.
So to start out, the very first update that everybody's been anticipating and is long overdue now, considering 2 of these folders on here, Indiana Jones and Vader, came to Fortnite this season. With the Family Guy folder being directly near it, everybody is wondering when Peter Griffin or any sort of Family Guy collaboration is going to be implemented into Fortnite, as it's been teased since Chapter 2 Season 5. Just to refresh your memory in case you forgot, this was added into the files way back then, showcasing images of Peter Griffin and Peter Griffin fighting the chicken being a famous kind of tradition from Family Guy, which in itself led players to believe that Peter Griffin would be coming to Fortnite as a skin, but nobody really talked about the giant chicken. Considering we've been teased toward Indiana Jones upcoming as a collaboration, which has now finally been implemented in Season 3 way before the season actually launched, with unnoticed changes on the map in prior seasons, such as this fridge which he entered to avoid a nuke blast or survive it in one of the movies. It looks like the Family Guy collaboration or integration may be just around the corner, as it seems somebody pointed out over on Twitter called Streaky Fly, do you think this could be a Family Guy reference, which for those that don't get the reference of the image basically showcases Cleveland having his house blown up and then falling out of it in a bath. Is this a nod toward Family Guy being collaborated further in Fortnite, or is this collaboration for Family Guy just going to be like the Fortnite X It Chapter 2 one where we only saw Balloon Era Drain in Chapter 1? Moving on to the second update that everybody will be happy about, considering swinging around the Daily Bugle is no longer a thing despite this POI surviving yet another season remaining inside this inactive volcano. Considering we've already talked about Indiana Jones and how he's been teased or leaked to be upcoming in Fortnite for quite some time, well, he actually teased himself upon being implemented or shown off for the first time in the trailer, a brand new item which basically is the new revamped Spider-Man Mythic Web Shooters. It seems Epic Games are repeating history, considering they showed Spider-Man's Mythic Web Slinger off in the Chapter 3 trailer but didn't implement it until a few updates after the season started. And considering we're seeing 5 downtime updates this season, we're either going to be seeing it in 2 weeks time for 21.10 or 21.20, and despite all the stats for this grapple glove being on screen right now, supposedly we're going to be finding them in these new custom boxes around the island that we can loot, like the ones kind of toolbox versions for chonkers, tires and cowcatchers. So despite the removal of blimps and Klombo guys is making it easy to traverse around the map even quicker, it looks like we're going to be getting this maneuverability speed back very soon. This may not be the only form this Spider-Man Mythic Web Shooter is revamped in, however, as we nicely move on to our third update. I'm sure by now everybody's either wanting or heard about at least the Spider-Man Zero skin, which is now available by purchasing the first issue of the Fortnite X Marvel Zero War comic books. For those that don't know, Fortnite have released a 5-issue series of comic books, and in the first comic book there is a code for this skin that you can redeem on your Fortnite account. And despite these being all the other rewards for all 5 issues, as there's a free reward code contained in all of them unique to that kind of book, just like the Fortnite Batman Zero comics, for redeeming all of the comic book codes we'll get another skin for Spider-Man, which is completely new and also for free. For this reason, people previously believed before they stopped talking about Miles Morales that this would be Miles Morales coming to Fortnite, whether in this form or any others we've seen him in any other games or even franchises. And with Epic Games showing their ability to revamp this web slinger in a very different manner, who's to say they can't just change the colour scheme to appeal to Miles Morales when he does rotate throughout the item shop after he's first implemented through the comic book code? episodes. Speaking of grapple-like weapons and free skins, moving on to our 4th and 5th updates that will be coming this season. For those that don't know, that was teased early on in the trailer, we'll be able to grapple onto boats, but the weapon that we'll have to have equipped and be using at the time is actually this that's currently in the game's coding, which I'm guessing is going to be coming along with the summer 2022 event updates. And considering the new dynamic of riding animals now in Fortnite, and not only that, being able to crank 90s with them, how funny would it be to latch onto an animal and have it pull us along with our heels scraping the ground. As for the summer event and when it's going to be starting in Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 3, it will be around the end of June, as this is when it typically happens. And for those that don't know, despite the Christmas event we see every year, this contains probably one of the most amounts of free rewards we see. Speaking of free rewards, again, however, despite the Fortnite x Marvel Zero War comics, believe it or not, everybody right now can get a free skin, as the brand new PlayStation Celebration Pack has just released containing Blizzard Bomber. Just like the starter packs we see every season, once a new PlayStation Celebration Pack releases, it means the prior one is then unavailable forever. So make sure before next season now you log on a PlayStation device with an active PlayStation Plus membership and simply go over to the store section and redeem this on your Fortnite account. And whilst we just discussed the summer event for 2022 is literally just around the corner, believe it or not, one of the biggest concerts in Fortnite history, no, not attached to the Soundwave series where we have to go into creative, could be upcoming soon, and of course I'm talking about Fortnite x Juice WRLD. Many of you may remember the fact that Juice WRLD's manager actually came out at the start of Chapter 3 or just at the end of last year stating that he's going to have talks with Epic Games about having Juice WRLD added into Fortnite in some way, shape or form. Well, despite him going silent for a whole 2 seasons almost, it looks like the hope isn't over for this happening, as he retweeted the official Fortnite Season 3 announcement post stating almost time to start the party, and believe it or not, the upcoming Juice WRLD album is rumoured to be called The Party Never Ends, so could there be some correlation in the wording right here? I think so. After all, this would be the ultimate addition to the already party-themed season since the catastrophe last season that we now need to recover from or chill out from. And I'm going to say when instead of if this actually happens. Now, of course, we're going to be seeing not only Juice WRLD themed cosmetics in Fortnite perhaps as free rewards, but also a Juice WRLD skin. Speaking of the Season 3 trailer, however, something that everybody took note of at the end with Darth Vader going through Greasy Grove was the fact he was able to throw his lightsaber, confirming it wouldn't be a harvesting tool, at Poe Peely despite him literally saving the Fortnite live event and reality as a whole. However, upon loading up the game, Darth Vader the NPC and his lightsaber are nowhere to be seen, but it's safe to say from data miners digging into the coding and finding out things about this character and also the mythic weapon that he'll be upcoming in a future Season 3 update, perhaps sooner rather than later. Speaking of things we'd rather see sooner rather than later, as it's literally been teased so much now and Epic Games are almost making a joke out of the fact right in front of our eyes that Klombos, despite them, well, being eliminated, some of them, they will be returning. For those that don't know where this skull is located, it's just on the outskirt area of the Rave Cave, and despite me mentioning at the start of the video, yes, Klomberries are still a consumable on the island, giving us that little bit more hope that they will be returning. According to the files, as you can see, Hypex states at the end of last season, they've been updated massively so we can eliminate them upon their return, and they will be dropping 15 different types of loot, almost giving us an incentive to do so. But I don't think I'm going to be doing this to any of the Klombos, especially if they add the baby ones that everybody's been going on about in the community or wanting. And believe it or not, this is not the only confirmation or updated coding for Klombos since we last saw them, as not only was this Klombo dance added, and I'm guessing this happens randomly or if they're happy if we feed them, and supposedly on top of that too, there's some more coding about a new colour variant alongside new music when we're approaching them in whatever mood they're in, whether it's angry or happy. It's safe to say Epic Games have kept their promise, however, considering if Klombos came to harm's way, they stated when Tilted Towers was added they'd have to wipe out the entirety of it, and they're going to be doing that very soon with the introduction of the Block 2.0. For those that don't know, this was originally introduced in Chapter 1 Season 4, where anybody in the community could submit their designs to be actually put onto the Fortnite island as a POI that we could loot and land at, and it's safe to say, well, now this opportunity has come round for anybody in the community again, however this time with them strictly focusing on not only appealing to the building aspect of Fortnite, which we all know and love, but zero build too. And speaking of map changes, the reality tree, which is a focal point of this new season in terms of changes, is spreading slowly across the island for those that haven't noticed, with routes all the way around it. The first change of this route spread that's been implemented today when I'm recording is at Logjam Lumberyard, and supposedly throughout the season it's going to reach these particular areas that people have been tweeting out about or have discovered early from taking a look into the game's coding. Honestly, it's hard to say if this is going to be used as a force for good with all of the positive vibes and everything this season, very much soon after contradicted by this enemy holding what seems to be a ball looking at the Fortnite island, specifically the reality tree. Despite the reality tree largely resembling the Zero Bloom, of which the state of the 0 point went into in the Chapter 2 Season 6 Zero Crisis finale event, I'm also comparing those two, the reality tree and the Zero Bloom, to this character. As you can see, it almost resembles the Zero Bloom in terms of the shapes of its head. As for what this skin looks like from head to toe, here is what Fortnite Fortnite have released anyways, which largely resembles it, or basically is it, in survey form. Yes, this is the same type of survey, but updated from what originally showed us what the Origin and the Sisters will look like early. So for that reason, it kind of confirms in itself, no matter how much involved with the story or whatever battle pass it's going to be implemented in a future season, literally any types of skins in terms of their importance or role in the storyline can be displayed on here. And considering in the Collision event, Jonesy and the Foundation actually entered another reality to chase after Jenna after getting our first look as to what this character is after being mentioned, it's hard to say when this character will be a direct forefront enemy of the storyline or be involved in a live event, as I don't believe we'll be seeing one this season, kinda like what happened in Chapter 2 Season 3, where Epic Games took a lot of time off for summer once the summer event started. Of course, feel free to let me know your storyline theories down below in the comment section, but that's all I've got for you guys today. So if you enjoyed, leave a like in this video and make sure you subscribe with all notifications turned on so that you don't miss any future uploads when more intel pours out. But in terms of other videos now or your next destination, make sure to interact with anything on screen. However, most importantly, hopefully I can catch you in that very next video I do post on the channel.